So if you are coming to the channel for the first time, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel so that you receive the notifications of these videos every day. In this video, we are going to discuss the current affairs for 3rd of March 2022. So let us see what all important has happened today. So there are 5 important news we are going to discuss in this particular session. One is the wealth report. So the wealth report 2022 has been released, and we will see where does India stand in terms of overall wealth generation and in the number of billionaires in the world. Secondly, exercise Vayu Shakti is going to take place in India, and many Indian aircraft and fighter jets are going to participate in it. What is the significance of such an exercise in this time? We will see that. Then the World Wildlife Day 2022 is being celebrated today. So we will see the significance of this day, why are we celebrating this day, and what is the theme for this particular year. Then Appscale Academy program is a very important scheme from the perspective of Indian economy, from the perspective of giving boost to the startup sector in India. And finally, National ICT Awards for 2020 and 2021 have been given away by the Minister of State for Education in India to the teachers who have done really good work in the field of integrating information and communication technology into their school curriculum. So let's have a look at these fantastic news for today. First is the Wealth Report 2022. Now, it is not a hidden truth that the pandemic in the last 2 years has widened inequality in the world a lot. But we are not talking about inequality now, we are talking about wealth creation. What is ironical is that in the last 2 years, millions of people have been shoved into poverty, whereas in India and in many other countries also, we have seen an increase in the number of billionaires. 11% year-on-year increase has been seen in the number of ultra high net worth individuals in India. UHNWI, or ultra high net worth individuals. Their percentage, their number has increased in the world as well as in India. So that shows inequality. But yes, we are talking about the wealth report. So in the world, the number of billionaires has overall increased, and India is ranked 3rd in terms of number of billionaires. So after USA and China, India has the 3rd largest number of billionaires in the world, as per Knight Frank's report. So this report is released by Knight Frank, and the number of ultra high net worth individuals in India is 145 now. So in India, there are 145 persons who are ultra high net worth individuals now, and it is also the highest percentage growth in Asia Pacific region. And it is ironical because India has the highest number of absolute poor people in the world. So this is ironical. Actually it is. Then ultra high net worth individuals are defined as the individuals who are having net assets of 30 million US dollars or more, which translates to 226 crore rupees in Indian currency. So those who are having more than 226 crore rupees are known as ultra high net worth individuals. And the list has been topped by United States with 748 billionaires, and China comes close second with 554 billionaires, and India is at the 3rd position. Moving on to the next important news, exercise Vayu Shakti. So this exercise is going to take place on March the 7th in India, in Jaisalmer, in the Pokhran range. Pokhran range is a very prominent range in India in terms of testing of nuclear weapons as well, because India has conducted nuclear tests only twice in its entire history, and both those nuclear tests were conducted in Pokhran, once in 1972 and second in 1998, known as Pokhran 1 and Pokhran 2. Twice India has conducted nuclear tests in Pokhran, and Pokhran is also the area where operation or exercise Vayu Shakti is going to happen. It's an exercise by the Indian Air Force As the name itself suggests, Vayu Shakti, that means Indian Air Force is going to showcase its prowess in the dominance in the airfield. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be the chief guest of exercise Vayu Shakti. Now, what is really important about this exercise is that from India, a total of 148 aircraft will participate, and for the first time, Rafale aircraft which we have purchased from France are going to be on display, are going to be are going to show their prowess basically. So Rafales are the planes or fighter planes that India has purchased from French company Dassault, and it created a lot of controversy back in 2019 when there were allegations that the price is inflated, things like that. But last month itself, we have received the final consignment of Rafale planes. So in total, we have purchased 36 planes with India specific enhancements. And there was a charge against the current government that it has paid kickbacks to various middlemen to obtain these Rafale planes, and perhaps the planes are acquired at higher than normal prices. But the Supreme Court refuted these allegations and the consignment was cleared for arrival. And finally, all the planes have come to India, and these are going to be on display in exercise Vayu Shakti. It's organized by Indian Air Force every 3 years. So this exercise does not happen every year. It happens once in 3 years. That makes it all the more exclusive. So last time it happened was in 2019, and now it is going to happen in 2022. Next, so today is the World Wildlife Day 2022. It's a World Wildlife Day. It is a day for us to remind how important is biodiversity for the planet, how important is different types of flora and fauna for the environment, and especially in a time when we are talking about climate change and its ill effects, this day assumes all the more importance. It is observed every year on 3rd of March to raise awareness about world's wild flora and fauna, and there is a reason why it is celebrated on 3rd of March, and we'll get to that in a bit. This day reminds us of the need to fight against wildlife crime like poaching and hunting and illegal trafficking or trade of animal products. And also it reminds us of human-induced reduction of species causing wide-ranging economic, environment and social impacts. It's a reality that in the last 100 years, more than 40% of the species of plants and animals have gone extinct, and they're never going to show up again on the face of the earth, all thanks to the human-induced, mind-boggling progress, the so-called progress, and the increased emissions, increased cutting of forests, and all the losses that we have caused to the environment. And this year the theme is recovering key species for ecosystem restoration. So this is the theme this year, recovering key species for ecosystem restoration. Recovering key species means there have been many species which are either endangered or critically endangered, and we want to focus on those critically endangered species which, if we do not focus on, are very soon going to become extinct. And once a species becomes extinct, there is no way to revive it again. So this is going to be the focus for this year, and the theme, as I have told you already, is recovering key species for ecosystem restoration, because unless we revive those species, we cannot restore an entire ecosystem. So the critically endangered species of wild plants and animals are going to be there. Now, how do we categorize these as critically endangered or endangered? Basically, there is a list that is maintained by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, called IUCN. So this body maintains a list known as the Red List. In this red list, there are different categorizations of animals. For example, the animals are categorized as vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered and extinct in this particular list, in that order. So we are going to focus on the critically endangered species this time. Now, why do we celebrate this day on the 3rd of March? Because on this date, on 3rd of March in the year 1973, the CITES Convention was signed. CITES is a convention which means the Convention on the International Trade in endangered species of wild flora and fauna. So CITES is a convention that bans the international trade of the wild species of plants and animals. So you must have seen news that at various international borders, some endangered species of plants and animals or the products derived from them are being illegally smuggled from one place to another, because apparently they fetch a very high price in international market. For example, the horn of one-horned rhinoceros, or the tusk of elephants, right, or the skin of tiger or lion. These fetch a lot of price in the international illegal market. To stop that, the CITES convention was signed in the year 1973, and it was signed on 3rd of March. That's why in 2013, Thailand proposed to the United Nations General Assembly that this day should be celebrated as the World Wildlife Day. And since 2013, we are celebrating this day as World Wildlife Day. This year it assumes a lot of importance simply because we have seen the reports of IPCC that climate change is going to be really brutal. So in that context, saving wildlife becomes all the more important. Next news is about economy, the Appscale Academy program. Now, what is this program? Basically, this program is to give a boost to the new startups. We have seen a lot of startups becoming unicorns in India in the recent past. And this initiative is an initiative of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, that in short we call METI. So METI is the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So METI has a METI Startup Hub, which aims to give boost to startups in India, especially in the field of digital technology and video gaming. So METI Startup Hub, along with Google, this is going to be the second partner. So first is METI Startup Hub, second is Google. Both have announced a cohort of 100 early to mid-stage Indian startups. So a group of 100 early to mid-stage Indian startups as a part of Appscale Academy program. So basically, both these are going to give a boost to these 100 digital startups, which can then go on to become really good in their own fields. So Appscale Academy is basically a new growth and development program for startups launched by these across India for building high quality apps. So this is the purpose, and games. And in India, by 2030, the video game market is going to become $1 billion industry. And for that, these 100 startups are being honed so that they can generate, economic growth, they can generate employment. And that is why Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has partnered with Google so that all these startups can become game changers for the digital economy of India. It's a really ambitious program, and let's see if it comes up with good results. Finally, the National ICT Awards for 2020 and 21 have been announced, and ICT is basically information and communication technology. Information and communication technology. So these awards are not given for anyone who has done something innovative in the field of ICT. It is given only to the teachers who have included ICT based teaching methods in their teaching, whether they are teaching in government schools or CBSE certified schools or state board certified schools. Basically, the teachers who have included ICT into their learning and teaching curriculum and thereby enhance the value for the students. This award is for them. That is why it is given by the Union Minister for Education, basically Minister of State for Education, Srimati Annapurna Devi. She has given away these awards, and 49 teachers have been felicitated with this award from all over the country. Also, she talked about the new education policy 2020 that also seeks to enhance the role of digital education. We have realized that during COVID-19, it was digital education that bridged the gap between, since physical classes could not be held. Now imagine a situation had Digital India or programs like digital technology were not there. The education sector would have been completely wiped out during COVID-19. But thanks to ICT, much of that gap was filled due to the video classes and all that. So in this time, the value of these awards have increased manifold, and these have been given for the 2 same years in which COVID-19 hit us. So these awards carry a lot of weightage now going ahead as well, because now any pandemic can hit us anytime in the future. So we are already prepared for that, and the more we prepare for that, the better our education sector is going to be. So in that context, this award becomes really very important. So these were the 5 important news that I intended to discuss with you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends. Also, there are links in the description below through which you can visit our website, and there are so many free resources that you can make use of. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you receive the notifications of these videos every day. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to comment in the comment section. We will definitely take care of that. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.